I'm from Fairfield, California. I've lived in Fairfield my whole life, but off and on, you know, back and forth, off and on. But I've been out here my whole life, just, you know what I mean? From elementary school all the way till now. I went to every school out here, from Fairview, Bransford, Suisun Elementary, you know what I mean, Grange. The only school I didn't go to was Fairfield High. I didn't make it to high school, so I didn't go to Fairfield High. I made it to Armio. So. But also in other schools, like I said before, I went to Martin Luther King and SAC. I graduated junior high at Havens Court in Oakland. You know, played for San Leandro High School for like 6 months. So I done been to damn near every school, Neestrom, Portland, you know what I mean? So, but Fairfield is home. My childhood, I think I got the most authentic childhood. Everybody got the sad story or the story, you know what I mean, on the streets. But, you know, when you listen to their story, it's like, I'm in the streets because I didn't want to listen to mom, or I didn't want to obey the rules that the parents was putting down. So now I'm on the street and this is how I got to live because I don't want to obey at home. And for me, it wasn't like that. You know what I mean? Like I said before, coming up, Pops is from Richmond, California. So if you know anything about the Bay Area and pimps up, hoes down, and if you haven't seen that documentary, if you watch that documentary, that's my father to a T. You know what I mean? And his whole motto was break abroad. So coincidentally for me, coming up, I played house everywhere I went. As soon as the Mac can didn't work, as soon as the pimping didn't go the way it was supposed to, we was uprooted. You know what I mean? So literally every 6 months, I changed schools. So you know what I mean? So the childhood, it wasn't really no childhood. It was stay on point and be ready to move. So for me, childhood in Fairfield, like I said, Pops growing up, every time he got into an argument or his pimping didn't work or he did a violation, you know, I moved. I moved every 6 months, clockwork. So the last time that I was with Pops, like Pops kept me from 9 years old until 13. He wouldn't let me be with moms. When I was a kid, he wouldn't, you know, wherever I was at, Pops was coming to kick in the door and get me. Like, Pops kept me with him. And all he taught me coming up was how to keep my money and how to wear my jewelry. Pops didn't let me stay with moms. Like, you know what I mean? I was with Pops until I was 13 years old from a kid, but like I said, all we did was play house in every city. As soon as he would get out of the pen, he would knock abroad, move into the house, you know what I mean? I would instantly have abundance of step family, you know what I mean? 6 months later, we would go back to another broad house. That's how life was. So when I got to Fairfield, the last time when we come back to Fairfield, and like I said, this is the common denominator of Fairfield, back and forth. But when the last time we got here was on Eden Court. And like I said before, I lost my life twice on Eden. I keep saying like I said before because me and you were talking. But I lost my life twice on Eden Court. So, and Eden Court is in Fairfield, right above Bristol Lane. So the first time I lost my life, I was 13. And my pops come back from the domestic dispute with one of my stepmamas. I don't want to say broad or anything like that because I said, like, these is real stories. Everybody's still alive. It's going to be people here to attest and contest to this, but I've never spoke on camera before ever. I got 117 videos and I've never spoke or went live one time. So, like I said, back then when I lost my life on Eden Court, he come back from beating up one of his broads. And the way I was raised, no matter how much dope my daddy did, if you look at all my, he made sure this is how you wear your watches, son. This is how you wear your rings. When toll used to cost $2, right? He used to go through the toll. And this is like one of the reasons why everybody like, how this nigga be with all these celebrities, 117 videos, and this nigga got on all those jewelry, but he'll wear a black shirt for 117 videos, right? So it's like, when I was coming up, Pops, when he used to go through the toll booths, he'll break 100 and give me the change, all the ones. Then he'll put a 20 on top, wrap the 20 around, put a rubber band. This is how you hold your money. Put your money in your sock. You get what I'm saying? And if I bought anything that wasn't tangible, anything, if I didn't have a pair of socks, shirt, shoes, pants, or something to show, I got in trouble for buying candy, McDonald's, toys and shit. I got in trouble for that. So, you know what I mean? People can look at these videos and they see me holding all this money, you get what I'm saying? And they like, oh, he's selling big drugs or he doing this and that. Literally, actually that stacking being instilled to me. Like if I showed up with a piece of candy or my pager broke or anything like that, I got in trouble for buying toys and shit like that. So it was like, you know what I mean? That's why you can see me with $100,000 worth of jewelry on, but every video I'll wear a black shirt. It was just a game and instilled in me. So like I said, when I lost my life on this night, when he got into this domestic dispute, he come running down the stairs from beating up his woman. He got his shit in his hand. He like, nigga, I told you, keep all your shit together. Ooh, ooh. So I grabbed my car, he grabbed his car. And like I said, at this time, this is 1999. We talking 21 years ago. You know what I mean? We talking 21 years ago. I was born in 85, so 1999, I had to be 14 years old, 13, 14 years old. So, and like I said, he coming down the stairs grabbing his shit, and he like, get your car, get out, you know, because I got keys to both cars, everything. So I grabbed my car, he grabbed his car, and we smash off, and I follow him. And so we follow around the corner, and he hop out the car. Now this is like his third time doing pin stretches. I done been everywhere, back and forth, moving, you know what I mean? This is like his third pin stretch. So he like, look, you can go on the run with me again, or you can stay and find your mama. Or do it by yourself. It's up to you. And so he give me the choice. He give me $160 and a Pontiac 6000. And he say, you can do it yourself, find your mama, you know what I mean, or you can run with me. And so at this time, I'm 13 now. Like, before coming up in Richmond, and the reason why I call Richmond my hometown and where I'm from is Fairfield, is because, you know, when parents are on drugs, the common denominator is granny house. No matter where, no matter how much dope they doing, no matter what you doing, you always gonna end up at granny house. And my granny lived on Cutting and 18th Street, right across the street from Miss Easter's, right across the street from the Blue House. And so Blue House is a restaurant in Richmond on Cutting Boulevard. So like coming up, you know, as a kid, that's where home was. You know, when your parents ain't got shit, you gonna go to Granny's house is where it's at. So coming up with Granny, you know what I mean? Like I said, I went to church every day, the usher board, choir board. I lived in Richmond, went fishing with Grandpa, you know what I mean? I lived with my granny, and it was like that real E40, you know, like when he say, Grandma, you buy your church clothes from the Goodwill. Literally, if you walk down Cutting Boulevard across the street from the 15 liquor store, there's a fucking thrift store right there. That's where I got my church clothes from. It was like literally, that's the only place, Richmond is the only place I had a childhood. You get what I'm saying? It was the only place you spending the night, having fun, playing football outside, going to elementary school. That's the only place I had a childhood. Once Granny died in 1998, there was nowhere for them to drop me off no more. It's no common home denominator, you know what I mean? There's no stable place. So when he does this last run, when I'm 13 years old, I literally try it for 2 days. I take the $160, I take the car, you know what I mean? And I try to live on my own for 2 days. I party, you know what I mean, what it was, and you know how it goes, and I went and found my mama. Now, all this time coming up, you know what I mean? Pops taught me how to stack. Pops taught me how to have the jewelry, got me the tools. Like Mac Dre, you say you gotta have your tools. Pops taught me the stacking part, but Mama taught me the dope game. You get what I'm saying? So now I'm 13, but see, people don't know this is like about me and Cholo. We got Oriental in our blood. So at 30, you know, that's why they look at Big Cholo, that motherfucker 400-500 pound, you know, big sumo. we got Oriental in our blood. So at 13, I'm 225, 250 pounds. You get what I'm saying? In those pictures all them throwback pictures that I'm showing with my daddy's jewelry on and shit like that, I'm 13 years old in them and the reason why in every picture I got jewelry on is because every time he left, that's all he could leave me with was the game. This is how you have your money, this is how you jewelry, and every stretch, that's all he would leave was his jewelry. That's all you get what I'm saying? So that's why in every picture you see in the picture was in 1999, I'm at school with rings and chains, because that's all that he left to instill with me. And that's why right now, until this day, I can walk around with $150,000 or $10,000 in my pocket and not spend a dime. You know what I mean? It's because it's just like that. But like I said, on this last time, I stayed a couple times and I went and found my mom, and we went and checked into the Budget Inn. At this time, and at this time, do you want to do the disclaimer now, or should I just keep this? Okay, like I said, at this time it's 19. And I'm gonna just do the disclaimer. Period. For the law enforcement, for the police, for the private investigators, for anybody who wants to use my words against me. Like I said, this is my first time on camera. First time ever speaking on camera, in 10 years of social media, I've never held a phone up and went like this on social media. So this is my first time speaking on camera. So to any law enforcement, private investigators, detectives, or anybody who wants to use my words against me, like I said, I'm gonna just speak freely. We talking about from 1999 up until current. So like I said, when Pops goes on the run and he leaves me this car, I go find Mom. Mom's is in the dope game. Cholo's mama, at this time, is the biggest dope dealer in Solano County. My auntie at this time is one of the biggest dealers in California. I mean, in Solano County. She's like at the top as far as moving. I don't know if you know what I mean. Like I said, this is 19. I'm a kid. I don't know. As far as her having it herself, but I know as far as moving it, my auntie was the Solano County top tier dope things. You get what I mean? Dealers, and this is Cholo's mom. So when my dad leaves me on the corner, and my mom's a low level user dealer, Cholo's mama is bigger than, what's the bitch name, Deborah that's on the BET now, that's supposed to be Gucci Man's or whatever mama, she bigger than all of them in Solano County. So when my dad goes on the run and I go find my mama and she's doing, she's a low level user type of deal, and my auntie say, well, you can't stay here because she know my daddy's gonna come kick the door and come get me. No, after his dope binge or whatever he's going through, my daddy's coming to get me. And so she wouldn't let my mama stay with her at this time. And it wasn't like they was funking or whatever, but she just knew my dad was coming, but this time he didn't come back. So we moved into the Budget Inn. This is 1999, North Texas, Fairfield, California, at the Budget Inn. Pops has been gone for about 30 days now. So we moved with Moms. I'm in there at the Budget Inn, room number 6. She enrolls me into Armio. Moms is selling crystal, I'm selling weed. You know what I mean? At this time, if you know anything about Fairfield in 1999, Fairfield is a place that you can sell crack and crank at the same time, because it didn't used to be crystal, it was crank. You know what I mean? Fairfield is the only place that you can go, and Fairfield had a dope scene where every scene in Fairfield, you can sell crack. You can go outside and spend $50 and make 100 back selling crack, like it was the Bay Area. You know what I mean? So when I come to this motel with Moms, me and Moms are hustling trying to make the rent. Moms gets a job at Kmart. You know what I mean? So now, if you look at all them pictures in front of the Budget, and I got all matching rings on, we stealing out of Walmart, doing what we got to do. We decided to hit a lick at Walmart, me and Moms. So like I said, Pop's been gone for about 3 months now, and now with Moms, and we hustling. So this is before they got the people at the front to check for receipt tickets. You get what I'm saying? So we used to look through the coupon book. Okay, we're gonna get speakers. Anything that was big, we would get. You know what I mean? She go through and buy it because she was a parolee. I go through and have the cart filled with the same shit, and I would leave behind her. You know what I mean? With the same shit, and on the ticket, it would only be a couple minutes past. So usually I would get out with the stolen shit, and then we return the good shit. So at this time, we were gonna use. We didn't have no money for rent. You know what I mean? And we were gonna use one of her clients, the people she was serving. We was gonna use her check. It's a 30-year-old nurse. She's a 30-year-old nurse, and we were gonna use her check to do it. And we go to the Walmart and do it. Long story short, moms end up getting caught at the door. You get what I'm saying? So when she gets caught at the door, all that's left is me with this 30-year-old nurse. I'm 13 years old. You know what I mean? 13, 14 years old, and it's a 30-year-old nurse. I got the stolen goods, the dope, and she goes in there and gets my mom's pager and her wallet. They take my mom to the pen. Now within 90 days, both of them is gone. In 90 days, both parents is gone. It ain't no now of course I got aunties and uncles that are using, you know what I mean? But I'm in a motel room with a 30-year-old woman, both parents is gone in 90 days. And so now I got a choice. I can either pick up this pager or I can use. So I pick up the pager, and like I said, I already just said my disclaimer. I'm gonna just tell you my life story as it is. So when I pick up the pager, I end up having sex with this 30-year-old woman that night, the same night. From 13 to 17 years old, this 30-year-old woman is my full-fledged broad. This is my woman now. You get what I'm saying? From the night my mom went to jail and she came back to that room with me, all she seen was a 225-pound 13-year-old, but I'm on the street. I'm grown. So from that night, I make love to this woman, and she becomes my woman from 13 to 17. You get what I'm saying? And when I got the pager, at this time, like I said, Cholo's mom is a kingpin, and my mom is a low-level user, seller. So, but they light-skinned, nice, top-notch bitches. You know what I mean? They're light-skinned, Oriental, and black broads. So my mom on the side, Cholo's mom's dealer is serving her on the side, doing her own thing, coming to see her. You get what? At this time, his name was Big June. And I said in the Clyde Carson song, I'm from when Big June had the $1 Million Picnics. You know what I mean? He was a record executive. He drove around in a bodyguard truck and a AWOL and steady mobbing truck. You get what I'm saying? And this is like back in 1999, and he's calling the pager, trying to get his money or whatever he's trying to get from my mama. So I'm answering the pager. I'm like, Mom's not here no more. You know, come get your money. You know what I mean? And so, but don't come empty-handed, nigga. You know what I mean? It's like Mom's is gone, but you know, I got your money, slide through. So when he slides through, like I said, I don't know where these people are at now, and I've already gave my disclaimer to all the investigators of police. I done fell off 10 times, you know what I mean, and got all my shit back legitly working. I done had a job since 1998, the same job. I got W-2s and W-4s from 2004. You get what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just give you my life story as it is with no chase on it. But like I said, he calling the phone like I need, you know what I mean? I need my money. I'm like, Mom's not here, but I got your money. Come get your money. And like I said, he was a record executive. I don't want to throw dirt on AWOL or Steady Mobbin's name or nothing, you know what I mean? But he used to drive around the AWOL and Steady Mobbin van, and then he used to have a bodyguard, Tahoe, you know what I mean? But he comes to the room, you know, I'm fully draped, got all my rings on, got my 30-year-old broad, you know what I mean? Mom's in jail. Here goes your bag, you know what I mean? And he leave me with a bag. At this time, like I said, you can sell crack and crank in Fairfield, in Solano County. It was like the Bay Area. All of us, anybody from out in Fairfield is from somewhere else. We're not, you get what I'm saying? We all come from the Bay somewhere out here. So every set, whether it was Phoenix, Park Lane, Allenwood, the Overnighter, North Texas Budget Inn, the Townhouse Inn, you know, Tabor, Courtyard, you know, all of them. Every place you can sell crack. So now that I'm on this corner coming up, like I said, I didn't have to look for people because Cholo's mama was a kingpin. So when we was kids, I got a million aunties and uncles coming. I got a million aunties and uncles. I'm talking about office, Home Depot workers, firefighters, law enforcement, you know what I mean? Like, she has top-notch clientele in coming through her house and as a kid. Everyone, hi auntie, hi, you know, these are my aunties and uncles. So and that's one thing I want to say, like, about Cholo's music. If it wasn't like Cholo was spoon-fed, Cholo's music is about all that hardship, because when we hit 13, his mama started using and fell off. So at 13, it was easier for me because I never had shit. I was always at somebody else's Thanksgiving. I was always at somebody else's Christmas. I was always somebody else. It was easier for me to accept that lifestyle that I didn't have shit, because how could you miss something you don't have? You get what I'm saying? But for Cholo, if you listen to his music, all his music is like hardship, fuck, we broke, we hurting, because he was kingpin. His mama was a kingpin until he was 13. And if you know anything about the life, once you fall off, it ain't no 401ks, it ain't no reinvest, it's just like boom, rock bottom. So he had to come join me. So it's like, it's not to say it was karma, but when she turned moms away and we outside, and then I lose mom, when I wake up in a motel room a year or two later with this 30-year-old, my auntie's now sleeping outside with me. You get what I'm saying? And I think I shared a picture before, my bad, I just don't want it to be hella crust in my lips. But I think I shared a picture before the other day on social media with one of my brothers, light-skinned Vaughn. And like I said, he found me in a motel room with Rashawn, Macario's older sister. And he was gonna help her out with rent. He like, nigga, I'm not finna help you out with rent. You got this big nigga sleeping in here on, you know what I mean? And he turned around, like, we get to know each other, and he's a little bit older, but he's like, damn, this nigga's 13 years old. This is a kid, and he's 15, 16, you know what I mean? But he like, you know what I mean? This is a kid. So when he found that out, he protected me. That nigga gave me his ID and everything, and he just protected me. And what he seen was, like, I can get a bag and I can go into any one of these motels, because like I said, people were selling crack and everything, but my auntie was in the crank and crystal game. So while there's niggas, I didn't have to go out and compete with those niggas. You get what I'm saying? I already had a million aunties and uncles, and literally some of these aunties and uncles stuck with me through a lifetime's worth of shit just on the strength of who I was. You get what I'm saying? So you wake up and you're sleeping outside with your auntie, and all I had was the motels. So if I had anywhere to claim, or what's my street, it's North Texas Budget Inn, room number 6. You get what I'm saying? So I was with this lady from 13 to 17, and I conquered, whether it was the Overnighter in Cordelia, whether it was the Travelodge behind Target, the Easy 8, no matter whatever it was, my brother, he's seen I can grab a bag. I could walk in one of those motels with a bag and come out with 9, 10 G's in fucking 45 minutes, an hour. No, I didn't have to sift through undercovers and do all that. It was like, you know what I mean? It was God-given because of Cholo's mama. So from 13 to 17, as I'm coming up in the streets, like I said, I got a Saturn, a Saturn that was fiberglass. I went and flipped a Lincoln that was two-tone, and like I was able to do all this because I had a 30-year-old woman to put the cars in her name. So when we finally at this motel and I'm hustling, I move into this lady's house and this is still the same frame time, the same 30 days at this motel. I move into this lady's house as the guys, this is my little nephew, and his mom is in jail, he ain't got nowhere to stay. Now this wasn't this wasn't just like a doping lady. She was a nurse, had 4 kids. Her husband was a teacher, and she was a nurse, and had a full-fledged home and everything. And she walked away from that life to live with me on the streets as a 13-year-old. You get what I'm saying? That's how much sway I had in the streets. Like literally, I was left on the corner. All I had was that pager. I had her check. You get what I'm saying? So I literally turned into a man at that night. Like I was telling you before, most people's stories is, oh yeah, I was on the street being bad because I wasn't. And you come to find out they just not listening to the rules at home. They don't want to obey at home, so that's why you out in the streets. It wasn't like that for me. It was like literally, I got dropped off with Pops. 3 months later, I lost Moms. Now I'm with this OG lady. When I hook up with the June dude, the AWOL and Steady Mobbing, I'd stay with him for about 3 months. He gets busted and says one of his secretaries wrote a statement and he can no longer talk to me or anybody I want. And this is in the same 3 months. We in 1999 now. We in 2021 talking, but we talking about 1999. Well, I'm still at the room. Everything that I've been talking about is still in 1999 at this room. You get what I'm saying? So he tells me, look, he live around the corner from the motel. He tells me like, look, I just got busted. You get what I'm saying? He come see me in a full body cast. The nigga can't even move. He in a body cast like this. And he coming to get his money. And I'm like, look, he said, I can't talk to you. My secretary wrote a statement. I'm out the game, whatever. But the police was coming to my house and he a big bodyguard. And he's like, I'm dropping him. And they beat my ass. That's why I'm in a full body cast. And nigga can't move, but I need your bag. And I'm like, look, I ain't got nowhere to go. I ain't got nothing. And at this time, you know what I mean? Rumored is, you know, right now, because like I said, I ain't hustled in over 7 years. I've been having a fucking job since 2008. And you know what I mean? I done fell off 10 times, you know, and got all my shit back strategically stacking. You know what I mean? But like I said, at this time, Crystal was like $1,700 an ounce. You get what I'm saying? I had 2 of them. Right now, I heard it's rumored at like $200 an ounce, but this is to give you the time frame. We talking in 1999. You get what I'm saying? I had 2 ounces. He was like, look, I can't talk to you no more. This is it. And while I'm like, I ain't got nothing. This is it. And he was like, you know what? Since he's seen my potential, he just gave it to me. You know what I mean? And I haven't seen that man in 21 years. That was the last time I seen him. He was like, I'm out. You know what I mean? I don't know his status, where he's at, if he's in pen, he's dead. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I ain't seen him since that day. He like literally, he's like, my secretary wrote a statement, and he gave me the bag. And I was like, and he left. So I'm still 13. I'm 13 years old, and now I got, from 13 to 14, my mom leaves me at this motel. I got a walk and a bag of clothes. And to expedite the story, to make it faster, you know, make a long story short, when mom does her come back from her 4-year bid, and if you know anything about the extended stay is old now. But in 1999, they was brand new. So when mom comes back, I'm at the 3rd story extended stay indoor hotel where you got to buzz and walk through the lobby. I got 2 cars, a brand new Lincoln, old school Lincoln sitting on 100 spokes, and a fiberglass Saturn. I had a fiberglass car in 1999. You know what I mean? And almost like 10 G's. And I'm in the 3rd story. Extended stay, and at this time it's Marriott Holiday. Right now, extended stay may be, you know what I mean, the rundown motel where all the homeless people living. But in 1999, that motherfucker was brand spanking new. And, you know, I'm at the 3rd story now with the 30-year-old bitch, you know what I mean, 14, 15, well, she did 4 years, so I'm 17 at this time when she comes back. So, and I've been, and all I know is this pimping and shit that my dad was doing. So I end up like literally hurting this lady. Like between the drug use, I put my hands on her, knocked out her teeth, fractured her skull. She had to learn how to read and write again. You know what I mean? And it's nobody's fault. Like I said, I was 13 years old and she was a grown woman. She could have easily just went on about her business. But it's just like, that's all. We was that much in, like, this was my bitch. It wasn't like no molestation. Like, nigga, I was 13 doing my thing. So when mom comes home at 17, I got the world now. Like I'm at the top of the food chain. You know, and I've done my own thing because I ain't seen this nigga and the dude who put me on I ain't seen him since he got locked up. So I'm having to navigate through my auntie's channel. You get what I'm saying? Through my auntie's she was maybe using and fell off then, but where she still has her reputation. So while all the other people are selling crack, getting in trouble, I literally just got to step up to the plate. You know how E40 say, you came in the dope game with a silver spoon up in your mouth. We start, you know what I mean? And that's how I came in. All I had to do was step up to the plate. And this is that, you know what I mean? So when it all boils down and mom gets out at 17, the first argument, I was like, you know what? Boom, I'm finna get all this mama. I'm gonna go live a normal life now. Mom's home. I survived the 4 years. I did that, you know, the 4 years. Mom left me with the pager and the wallet. When she comes home, I'm like, you know what? She comes to the 3-story rise. I give her everything, the pink slips, the cards and everything. And the woman I'm with, she really can't say nothing. She's with a 17-year-old boy from 13 to 40. She really can't say nothing about me taking these cards and the money and leaving. You know what I mean? What you gonna say? You know what I mean? So when mom comes, I give it to her and I'm like, I'm gonna go live a regular life. I survived. I didn't get to do no high school. Army-O, 9th grade, freshman year was the last day of school. So when I give it to mom's, and I survived this 4 years, I'm like, you know what? I go to school. I rent mom's in Vallejo. I rent mom's a house on Greenwood, first, last deposit. You know what I mean? I rent her a home. You know what I mean? And I get to home. And I'm like, I'm going back to school. She enrolled me into San Miguel in Fairfield, and because this is the only addresses we got people in Fairfield. So she enrolled me out into San Miguel in Fairfield. Now, I ain't been to school in 4 years. So all my peers, you know how everybody got a class of, there's class of and they all went to high school together, they all go up. All my peers is dope fiends, knocks, aunties, and uncles. That's all I don't have a class of. So I come back to San Miguel and I still got these friends that I know from elementary, junior high, and all that. But when I come back to San Miguel, I come pull up in the two-tone Lincoln, leather coat on, you know what I mean? The nuggets or ropes. They like, who daddy is this? Coming to school, you know what I mean? But I go to school and I'm like, now mind you, I've been with a woman for the last 4 years, a kid that had 4 kids. I ain't never seen a hot thought. You get what I'm saying? I ain't never seen, I've been had sex with, you know what I mean, few people. My full-fledged sexual relationship from 13 to 17 is been with an old lady. So when I get to school, to the San Miguel at 17, I'm like, I gotta find somebody smart enough as this old lady to continue, because I'm still in the streets. We only from 1999 to 2003. You get what I'm saying? That's only 4 years. You know what I mean? That's the reason why this is on my shoulders. That's only 4 years. So I go back to San Miguel and I'm like, I gotta find somebody smart enough as the OG bitch to help me to run the house, to help with the kids, you get what I'm saying? And while I can hustle, you know what I mean? So I go to school with that mentality, and that's where I fucked up. I'm not saying that this girl did anything wrong. We was truly in love. We truly was, you know what I mean? It was an authentic thing. But I find a girl, now I ain't never been to school since these 4 years, so I find a girl who's gonna help me with the packets. And you know anything about continuation school, it's just filling out the packets, turning them back in. I find a girl that's gonna help me with the packets, and she's street smart. So I take her with me and I'm like, look, you can have the house, the cars, all the shit. All I need you to do is help me manage this school shit and help me manage my life. You get what I'm saying? Because I just shook the old bra, but mom's is on parole, fresh out from parole. She ain't got nothing in her name, no credit, no nothing. All she got is the bag I just gave her. You get what I'm saying? And so when I meet this girl, I'm like, look, you know what I mean? This is what we gonna do. This, you can have a house, all this shit, everything. Just be loyal to me, and you know what I mean? We gonna run it. We both 17. Now I got, you know what I mean? We both 17. So she from Eden Court. Like I said, I lost my life twice on this street. She from Eden Court. And at this time, 2003, Goldie is just now signed to the Federation. He is the pinnacle. He's on TV. His word is weight. And in Fairfield, you know, the only gangs out here are the Mexicans and the whites. There was really no niggas out here. So Ken Smoke was the only gang in Fairfield, and that was my cousin. And to tell you how he's my cousin is when Moms is a runaway in Richmond, this lady named Bev found Mom. Bev is Auntie Dot's best friend. And that's how my mom met my dad. So instantly coming to Fairfield, Goldie and them is already my cousins. You get what I'm saying? But I'm living on the street, living this tweaker life. You get what I'm saying? And hustling. So when 2003 comes and I get into this school, I meet this girl, and you know, she lives on Eden Court. You know, everybody's hustling crack. I'm already embedded in the crystal life. You know what I mean? I don't need to come short step on nobody or nothing, you know what I mean? So I come to the dope track, Goldie's, you know, with the Federation, he runs the street at this time. You know, I pull up a chair, let my hair out on the track, you know, girl braiding my hair, you know, it's like, you know, I'm stunting. And the mom is not worried, she's not tripping. She's like, y'all 17, and you know, the girl, and I take the girl with me. Long story short, when you know, she's 90% of the time, the girl's time is with me, you know, mom's like, you know, y'all 17, she gotta really be serious about her life, you know, you gotta bring her back. My mom's is on high risk parole. I just got to this level, you know what I mean, of trying to be a normal person. So I tell her like, you know, I gotta, you know, take you back home. You know, I'm not gonna forget about you. Everything is authentic. You know, we gonna still go to school. And so I bring this girl back to Eden Court, and me and the dad start arguing over the car. You know what I mean? And he comes outside with the gun, shooting, you know, and I got my mom, my brothers, and everything, and he comes out shooting, and I return fire. You get what I'm saying? And I kill one of his friends. So they give me, because it was evidently an accident, you get what I'm saying? I was just defending my mom, defending myself, and you know, and they give me a justifiable homicide. I do 6 months in juvenile hall.
You said you were arguing over the car?
Yeah, we're arguing over, not over the car, but yeah, he's in his driveway and I'm at the car, and we arguing, motherfucking young ass nigga, woo, woo, woo.
Mad at you being with his daughter?
No, it was just a family dispute, but yeah, it was about the daughter. You know, I had to bring, you know, the daughter back. And, you know, it was no problem. I was bringing her back, but it was, like I said, it was just me not respecting my elders and the big-headed niggas, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm pulling up on their track, get my hair, you know what I mean? Doing just showing out. And, it, you know, in his eyes, he's like, yo, young-ass nigga, you know, we were arguing. But I guess he was just a hothead, OG hothead, and he comes outside and starts shooting. I got my moms with me. You get what I'm saying? So I got to protect my mom. So I return fire. And as he's running, the ricochets hit his homeboy, and I killed his homeboy. You get what I'm saying? So they give me a justifiable homicide. But this is all from 99 to 2003. That's 4 years. You know what I mean? We in 2021. We in 2021 right now. You know what I mean? And that's from 1999 to 2003. So that's what happened. So like when I get this justifiable homicide, and I'm sitting in there, I've never been in a facility. I've never seen cuffs. I've never seen a cell before. I've never seen a CO or keys or doors or anything. So the shooting happens and I run. and I run, right? And my mom runs because we're both there. My mom's there. My mom takes the car. I take the car. We run because we were literally pulling up to bring the girl back. You know, it was no gangs or anything. It was just a family dispute. You know, we were dropping the family off, and dropping her off, and we got into an argument. And the DA had fucking 17 witnesses against me. I got one witness, my mama, who got 10 stories, and she's a parolee. You know, and the DA got 17 witnesses against me. But like I said, when it happened, I ran. I go get a room. I take pills and get high. And my mom calls me. She's like, if you don't come turn yourself in, they're going to take me to jail. In 30 minutes, I lost everything that I built. In that 4 years, I lost it in 30 minutes. In 30 minutes. You get what I'm saying? When mom left, she left me a pager and a pager in the bag. And when I went to jail, I left her my cell phone and my bag. You get what I'm saying? So I go turn myself in. She's like, if you don't turn yourself in, they're gonna take me to jail. I just rented her the house, and she's just home. So I go turn myself in. And they give me, when they give me a justifiable, it's like I'm sitting in there for this 6 months, and I'm telling all the guards, it's like, man, I'm not no kid, man. It's like, nigga, I got 4 cars outside, 4 houses. It's like, these is kids playing Uno. It's like, I don't, but to me, this is Rikers Island. I've never seen the inside of a facility. So I tell on myself, I give a full confession, you know what I mean? But what I did do was, the lawyer, from watching the movies, I asked for a lawyer. I was like, I need a lawyer. But in my mind, nigga, you know what I mean? I'm like, I need a lawyer, you know what I mean? So in my mind, you know what I mean? When moms call me and she say, look, if you don't turn yourself in, they gon' take me to jail, you know what I mean? So I go turn myself in, and I ain't really, like I said, I ain't never been to jail before I was 17 years old. So inside this facility, when I wake up, I'm like, and like the police is telling me, you going to jail, you ain't never getting out, because I confessed. But in my mind, when I'm at the police station, I'm thinking, in the movies, the lawyers come in 15 minutes. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, I need a lawyer. And so I'm thinking, and he's like, okay, well, just make yourself comfy, because you're going to be here until you're 35, 45 years old. You know, I'm like, so the lawyer ain't coming right now? He not coming in right now? All right, so, but at this time, I'm addicted to ecstasy. So before I even turn myself in, I got 2-3 ecstasy pills under my tongue. So when I go to the police station, when I see I'm in there and I'm not getting out, I bite the top and I swallow my pills. So I had already asked for a lawyer. You get what I'm saying? And he like, no lawyer coming. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give my statement. So I tell him exactly what happened. It was a family dispute, you know what I mean? I came to turn it back. He came outside shooting, I returned fire. You know what I mean? The DA had 17 witnesses, all against me. Every witness said the same thing my statement said. They were arguing, he came outside shooting, the young man returned fire. And the judge released me in 6 months. You get what I'm saying? So I got to hit the street. Now, mind you, like I said, my disclaimer in the beginning, I done fell off 10 times. I done had the same job since 2008, and I got W-4s from 2004. You get what I'm saying? But we had in 1999 to 2003. So when I get out, I don't got to worry about starting over. You get what I'm saying? My mama left me with the pager and the bag back then. When she got out 4 years later, and mind you, I went to jail 3 months after my mama got out. I went to jail soon as I went to San Vieto. Soon as she gets out, I leave her with 2 cars, the bag, everything else. So when I get out after my 6 months, the program is running still. You get what I'm saying? The program is running, and this is 2003. So I'm in my head. I'm like, I'm asking God, who am I that you used another man's life to give me consciousness? Because before the justifiable, there was no consciousness. I rob you in a minute. I take what you had in a minute. I'm selling. I don't give a fuck if you with the FBI. I'm serving you. You get what? There was no consciousness before this. You get what you know what I mean? And it's like at the justifiable, when I get out, I got a conscience. Now it's like, you know what I mean? It's like you just did like, whether in the law's eyes you were correct and you got to go home, somebody's life was altered by y'all actions. And it's like now I got a conscience. Before I didn't know what a conscience was. And when I got out, the ball is still rolling. And it's like, but now I'm moving with some sense. So from 2003 to 2007, I'm still going in the paint, but now I'm moving with a little bit of sense. And the reason why I put in that time frame from 2003 to 2007 is because if you know anything about the Ford Edges, the brand new Ford Edges, the very first model is in 2007. And at this time, I rent my mama another house because I'm not working. You know, mom's got her little relationship and you know what I mean? I got somewhere to put my name on, you know, and I find another wife that I've been married to for the last 16 years, but I find a whole nother woman and I start hustling with her when I get out, you know what I mean? But from 2003, now mind you, we in 2021 still, but from 2003 to 2007, I'm still in the game. But I'm moving with conscience now. So I rent my mama a house, and then I rent the house in the front. The dude, basically, he's gonna rent my mom. He owns both of them. He just renovated them, and he's about to rent her the one in the back. And I'm telling him, like, look, man, you know what I mean? You give me the one in the front, this is how much money I'm blowing. I got no conscience. I'm like, you give me the one in the front. You know, my bro work at Little Caesars, you know what I mean? We got a check stub, nigga, you know what I mean? She work at Little Caesars, but you give me the one in the front, I pay you both of them the whole rent a year up front on both spots if you just rent me the one in the front. And he like, you know what? He seen I was serious. I got the chain with the hand on them, you know what I mean? The watch and everything. He seen I was serious, and I gave him the money, and he gave me both of them. He gave me both spots. And rumor has it, like I said, I don't know this brother at all, but rumor has it, Pooh Hefner mom now live in that house. And who, you know what I mean? And I'm not gonna say no addresses or nothing like that, you know what I mean? But the rumor has it that his mom now lives in that house. But the dude who had just renovated that house, it was both of them. And he let me rent both of them out in Vallejo with cash. So now, from 2003 to 2007, I'm still in the game. So I pay for both of them. That's like 30 G's a piece. If you think about it, a year up front, you know, at that time, that's about 1,700 a piece times 12, both of them up front. You know, I'm just throwing the money like that. So I line up the driveway and put the Firebird in the driveway, Nova in the driveway, Caprice in the driveway, the 2007. And the reason why I put it to this time frame is because I wanted something my way, and I ain't never had the car the same year. I ain't never had the car the same year that it was, so I went to the lot 2007, and the Ford Edges might be granny cars now, and you might see a whole bunch of old white people driving them now, but if you look up the 2007 Ford Edge, it's the first year. I mean, the Edge, the 07 is the first year it ever even hit the market. I was the third person in California with it. You get what I'm saying? So I went to the lot and got the Edge, went straight to Les Schwab and put him on 22s. And the reason why I'm doing the time frame in this from 2003 to 2007 is because I'm having it my way. I'm living. I'm still in the life. But like I said, if you pull up the pictures, I lined the whole driveway, the Nova, the Cadillacs, the Firebird, the Camaros, and I own both houses. So the driveway is mine. You get what I'm saying? And so I line them motherfuckers up, and I'm just having it my way. But my daughter is born in 2008 from my current wife. You know what I mean? I just left the old broad alone. I done left the young broad alone that I caught the case with. You know what I mean? And I find a new woman. So my daughter is born in 2008. Now, mind you, I didn't have a conscience before the justifiable. You get what I'm saying? Now, when my daughter's born, any nigga who been in the game, like everybody now, E40, yeah, you know what I mean? Get you a job. What's 4 years of hustling compared to 3 years of balling? You know, now that's the common saying. But they wasn't telling us that back then, you know what I mean? E40's preaching that shit now, but nobody was preaching that to y'all, get a job back then, you get what I'm saying? But in 2008, when my daughter was born, anybody in the game, you know, when you're in the game and you want to keep what you got to get proof of income. You get what I'm saying? So I go get a job in 2008. But even though, mind you, I got W-4 since 2004, whether it was odd jobs at the refinery, whether it was this and that, I get serious in 2008 when my daughter's born. And like I said, at this time, I'm having it my way. I'm blowing tremendous amounts of money, 2 houses on the same lot, all the cars in the driveway. I intentionally put them on 22s because I own the whole driveway. And I just, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know what to even do with the money. You get what I'm saying? It's like, so when I get this job, I get this job, and then my kid, I'm like, I gotta straighten up. And I meet this preacher kid at this job, and he teaches me about politics. I don't know anything about government, money, economics, the Federal Reserve, the money being privately owned. I don't know anything about this. All I know is dope. That's all I know, you know what I mean? But yeah, at this time, you know what I mean? I don't know nothing about a legitimate world. I didn't get to go to high school, so I don't know nothing about presidencies. And like, for example, to give you an example, in 2001, when the Twin Towers fell, I was sleeping in Allen Witt. I used to sleep in Allen Witt Park with the bums, $10,000 wrapped around my nuts, you know what I mean, barbecuing with the homeless people. And so in 2001, when the Twin Towers fell, I was homeless in a park. I don't even know what politics is, but like I said, not to time jump back all the way back to 2001, but like I said, at 2007, 2008, I'm like, blood, I gotta get a job, you know what I mean? So when I get this job and I meet this preacher kid, he's putting it in my head, like, you don't know that the money's privately owned, you don't know that this is fake, you know, like derivatives, you know what a derivative is, and you know what I mean? I'm like, nah, you know, derivative is basically money being made from something else, you know what I mean? Like, if you got 100 cars, it ain't money until you sell them, you know what I mean? It's like money. So he's teaching me all that, and I'm like, so I'm reading these books, and I'm steady telling my moms, I'm like, look, I'm reading these economic books and all that. I'm like, look, you can buy a house in your name, you know what I mean, for $4,000-$5,000 using these programs. You know what I'm saying? And I'm learning these economics, and you know, in 2008, I was like, I'm done. I was like, you know what I mean? I can strategically stack, you know what I mean, and match my wife, you know what I mean, and beat the dope game. It's like it wasn't even, the risk was no longer outweighing the reward. So I left that alone. And now when I'm learning this shit, and like I said, 2008, Goldie and them is famous. And at this time, I'm in awe of Goldie. Like, this is my blood. This is the same nigga who was cooking fried chicken, making us beat up everybody in apartments, that's on TV really signed to somebody. And I'm at awe of Goldie in this time. Still am, you know what I mean? Nobody can do what he's done in this city. And it's like, so at this time, I'm hanging with my cousins, and we wake up in one of these guest rooms, in the many guest rooms, and many nights is hanging with Goldie. We wake up a lot of places, but we was in Sacramento one night. And I wake up in this guest room, and when I'm in this guest room, I'm like, but I come out, it's an Impala in the garage and a Navigator, and I come out, it's Rick Rock's house. You get what I'm saying? And we all pile in this Navigator, And the only person I ever seen with cable in the car was this dude named Saeed from Fairfield. You know what I mean? I want to give him his flowers, you know, while we are here. That's the only D-boy I ever seen in Fairfield. And this is like I said, we talking 2003. We still 18 years ago. But it's like I seen when I wake up and we in this Navigator and with cable in it, the only niggas I ever seen with cable in it was this D-boy from Fairfield. I'm like, okay, they getting money like my niggas getting money, you know what I mean? We pull up to the bank with Rick Rock and Goldie, Dooney, and Stress and all them, they all go in the bank. And, you know, Rick Rock and them come out of the back room and Rick Rock hand them all bank stacks. You get what I'm saying? With the money wrapped around it. And at this time, I'm already in, you know what I mean? But I'm like, damn, it's money in, you know what I mean, in the music. So I'm starting to look at it more like, damn, I think, you know, that's something I want to be interested in. And you know how you listen to songs a million times? Like, for instance, we listen to Biggie Smalls, Hypnotize, where you say, da-ha, we never thought that rap would take it this far. That's like a country western dude sing, but we listen to that whole song and we never know what the fuck he was talking about. That's like a country western rapper or something, rapping Duke, da-ha, never thought that hip hop would make it this far. And if you look up the rapping Duke, it's an old, you know, black dude singing songs or whatever. But like the point of it is, like, you listen to songs and you don't know what they're saying. And I've listened to Mac Dre a million times. I didn't know what Pro Tools was. You know what I mean? And Goldie and this dude from Vallejo named KLB. I got songs with him too now. But KLB, I seen him in the garage and they're rapping in a studio in a garage. No booth, no mic. And Goldie's putting a verse down. You know what I mean? And I'm like, so I go buy one. The whole setup, you know what I mean? And at this time, it's like, I'm not even trying to rap. I'm still hustling. So I just buy the equipment and shit and I'm learning it. But like I said, I want to put it in that time frame from 2007, from 2003 to 2007, because this is where I'm getting my consciences now. And like I said, I went to the lot and I'm blowing money and everything. And it's like, when I get into the music a little bit, 5 years from 2007, that'll be about 6 years. I'm 6 years. I'm recording THIZZ and I'm meeting Keak Da Sneak. I'm meeting Killa Tay and I'm not even rapping. I'm giving the songs to THIZZ and Rich Stickum and I'm just learning the equipment. I'm learning, you know, how to make music. Like now I have my own studio, but I get to the point. I think if we Google it right now, Back to the 90s came out like 2013. So now I'm getting momentum in the music.
Do you remember your first song? First song you ever recorded?
The first song that I ever recorded, I don't remember the first song, but I know it was somebody else's song. It was either Rich Stickum or THIZZ's, or it was one of them, like J Boo, and you know, I had the equipment, let everybody rap. I'm learning how to, you know, mix and master and all that. But when I get the equipment, it's like I'm learning how to do it. And when I get to around 2013, and like I said, I meet Killa Tay through Gaddafi. He's a dude out in Vallejo at this time. He was a user. And everybody sold CDs. So every time I seen him, I bought all his CDs. But I was trying to get into music. He's like, man, I know Killa Tay. I mean, this is I don't know who he was in his prior life, but when I met Gaddafi, he was a knock on the street selling CDs. And he was like, man, I can get Killa Tay on the phone right now. And you know, I was like, nigga, that is like the West Coast Godfather. You can't get Killa Tay on the phone. And you know what I mean? He get Killa Tay on the phone. And you know, I get a verse from Killa Tay. And then, like I said, at this time, I'm blowing big money. One night, I'm at the High Limits. You know, if you punch in the Mac Reese Keak Da Sneak interview, I'm in the High Limits stuffing money in the machine. I see Keak in the High Limits. You know what I mean? My nigga was handy. You know what I mean? If you watch the interview, I see him. You know what I mean? I get a verse, I give it to THIZZ, and I'm not even in Rich in them. You know what I mean? I'm not even rapping. And it's like, but when I finally get some momentum, my first song was, my first album is The Fall of Buggy and T. You know what I mean? And we'll get to that when we get to the music part. But we still on the life part. I'm at 2013, and I'm back to the 90s is coming out, and I'm getting a little recognition, right? I've never been in cuffs other than the Justifiable. I've never been in cuffs. I've been doing this whole run, and I ain't never been in cuffs. You get what I'm saying? But I got a conscience now because of that case, and my daughter's born. You get what I'm saying? So my gut is telling me, like any D-boy is telling me, nigga, it's time to, you know what I mean? So this whole run, in my back of my mind, I'm learning, I'm reading these books, and I'm trying to get out of the game. In 2013, when Word on the Street came out, let me put this in context. Like I said, my first real album was The Fall of Buggy and T. And me and my brothers had, we kind of broken up. We had a little rap group. One of my brothers, we're having so much money, this nigga's coming to the house every day, grabbing a car. He'll grab the Camaro this day, grab the Firebird this day. And people in Fairfield, they looking at him like, nigga, what is you doing? And mind you, I don't have to worry about the niggas in Fairfield. I didn't go to high school with none of these niggas, so I don't know. All I know is aunties and uncles. So he's catching heat from the street because he's going around and he knows all the youngsters. He's from Fairfield. You get what I'm saying? He grew up and went to school out here with him. And this is my brother, light-skinned Vaughn. Light-skinned Vaughn, the one that I shared the picture of the other day, is like, this the nigga who found me in the room, da-da-da, you know what I mean? We're tight. So he just come to the house, he take the Firebird today, he'll take the Camaro to tomorrow, and you know, we go get chains and everything. So the people in Fairfield, they're looking at him like, nigga, what is you doing? Like, and they starting to get on him. They start trying to rob his house and rob him, and you know, they like, bro, we want your brother. But they can't get to me because I don't know none of them. There's nobody for me to, you get what I'm saying? Y'all see me in the streets and y'all know I'm the youngster with the 30-year-old and I'm off limits because Goldie said I'm off limits, you know what I mean? But they don't know me. There's nobody, auntie and uncle house they can meet me at. There's nobody, you know, I don't have to worry about the niggas. So he's going in and out of the hood, you know, driving these cars, doing these things, and you know what I mean? They end up trying to rob his house, and then he's like, bruh, and like I said, all coming up, he looked out for me. He gave me his ID when I didn't have no ID. I'm talking about who gives you their ID. You get what I'm saying? But you know, also he's seen I could walk into a motel room and walk into here with a bag of trash and come out with 10 G's in 30 minutes in 1999. You know what I mean? So he's like, nah, this is my brother. Like, you know, he protecting me. So when we coming up and we doing it from 2003 to 2007, when we coming up in the streets and we running the streets, and like I said, he's coming back and forth to the house, grabbing cars, coming back, and they robbing his house and they're trying to. So he like, bruh, look, they trying to find niggas. Everybody want me to tell you who you is and where you at. So he's like, look, I'm moving, and he originally from New York. Like I said, everybody in February, you know what I mean. So he moved to New York, you know, and at this time. Like I said, I don't rap. So I've been giving Rich Stickum the studio. You rap, give it back to me, I'll mix them. We up to like, I got 22 albums that never even been released, with group albums, with Rich Stickum and my light-skinned brother Vaughn. You know what I mean? Almost 22 albums. It was getting to the point where I just leave the studio with Rich Stickum, he'll give me the studio back, we mix them. So I give Rich Stickum the studio one time and I come back. And if you know anything back at this time, the studios, Pro Tools, you can just go download a Pro Tools. You get what I'm saying? You couldn't rip it like you could rip it now. You get what I'm saying? So you had to spend $700 for the Pro Tools, $700 for the Reasons. Back then, laptops were $25 to $3,000. You know, $5 you had to buy the laptop, memory for the laptop, the mic. You know, that's an expensive setup. So when I get it back from my brother, you know, I don't come back in weeks at a time. And my brother is Rich Stickum. I get it back. The inside is ghosted. And you know what I mean? The inside is ghosted. I mean, he gave me a laptop back with the hard drives and the programs are gone. And he like, bro, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. And you know what I mean? And it's like, I can't fall out with him. We got love, but I'm pissed. I'm pissed. So my first album is The Fall of Buggy and T. The whole album I make about my brothers. I'm mad because my brother left me and went to New York, and these niggas is trying to find out who I am. You know what I mean? And I'm mad at Rich because he let the studio go. So now my first album, I'm like, fuck it, I'm finna start rapping. And the first album was The Fall of Buggy and T. I got Rich on East Table. If you look at the album, I come in it with the chain. I come in it with the watch. I got Rich on, that's over 13 years ago. You know, over a decade ago. I come in and you know what I mean? And it's like, so now I'm starting to get momentum from 2003 to 2007. I'm starting to, you know, I'm still hustling, but now from 2007 to 2013, I didn't spend 6 years learning this music, recording THIZZ, recording Rich, recording my brothers. Like I said, me, Vaughn, and Rich, we got over 22 albums that never been released because I'm off beat. I won't even show them to nobody because I didn't know how to rap. But I'm on there screaming my life away because I'm the nigga with the most money, the nigga with the thing, and it's like, I'm trying. Even if you listen to the Fall of Buggy and T, even that album, you can still hear I'm off beat and I'm trying to find, like, I got Rich on East Tabor was the most smackingest song on there. And that was my first song. So when I get momentum and from 07 to 2013, it's like I'm having it my way, card the same year, I'm doing it, but now I'm in the music, and when Word on the Street is released in 2013, my brother leaves, he calls me, he's like, bruh, I'm in New York, I just bought a 6-bedroom, 4-bath for 13 G's. I just left Alex at Hilltop. We wasn't even for Highline. This is before Highline. We talking about the niggas that Mac Dre rapping about, Alex and Hilltop at Exotic, custom jewelry where Johnny Cash and all them used to go. I just left from up there and spent 15 on the watch, the ice time and everything. And like, nigga, you just bought a 6-bedroom, 4-bath, and you got the pink slip in New York? But yeah, you got to shovel snow to get out your front door, but he owned that motherfucker. And now, mind you, I'm just coming into consciousness, meeting this political kid at the job. And I'm telling my mom, I'm reading these books. I'm like, look, we can get a house. We ain't never had a yard. We can get a house. So at 2013, me and Cholo, we go by, you know, and I don't know nothing about foreigns. Cholo pull up in the foreign, this is like I said, we having money blowing it. Cholo pull up on buttons in the 745. I don't know what a 745 is. I'm not, you know what I mean? All I know is dope and saving. My daddy beat the savings in me, mama beat the hustle in me. So when Cholo pull up in this 745 with the buttons on it, I instantly go buy one. I go spend 10 bands on a 745 just because he got one. And this is around 2013. And so we're getting momentum in the music, you know what I mean? And I sell the 745 back to Nino. I sell it to Nino's. I bought off the street and I sell it to Nino's, right? Because I slammed the door on the 745. I don't know nothing about no air suction and no foreigns. I slammed the door and the lights start going off. You know what I mean? So I take that motherfucker to Nino's and I sell it to him. I bought it off the street, but I sell it to Nino's. Nino's write me a $10,000 check for it. It's $10,000 clean money. You get what I'm saying? I go to the people we've been buying my mom's house, and I'm like, look, I'm ready to buy a house. I've been working for 2 years, couple years. My wife work at Little Caesars. I got 10,000 clean money. She's like, this ain't gonna do nothing in California. You gotta be working for this long to get this amount of loan. And I'm not knowing nothing about that. So I'm like, you know what? At this time, my dad has been out for like 9 years now. You know what I mean? He's been out and he went to the South and he's flipping real estate. He's buying lots for 10 grand, 20 grand. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take 10,000 from this savings at work, and I'm gonna take this 10,000 Nino Motors just gave me, cause I made Nino's go put my thumbprint on the check, give me the cash. I don't want no damn check, nigga. I made him give me the cash, put my thumbprint on it. So I take 10 out my savings. I put 4 or 5 years of pay stubs, income tax around it. Anybody ever having any money, 20,000 in hundreds is this big. You get what I'm saying? 20,000 in hundreds is this big. So I wrap motherfucking my income tax, 4 or 5 years of pay stubs, the check from Nino's Motors, and I take this 20 grand, and I'm like, man, I'm finna leave the game. I'm going to buy me land. This nigga just bought a house. Pops is out there buying a house. I'm finna take this 20 grand, and I'm coming into consciousness. I'm finna go buy it. I get on the freeway. I get pulled over. And this is when God woke my game up. This is around 2013. So from 2007, we're having it my way, to 2013, we still almost a decade back. When I do that word on the streets, people don't know that word on the street is to the police. That word on the street, because when I get pulled over, I'm driving, dudes say, he pulled me over, and I know I ain't got no drugs. All I got is diamonds, gold, and his money. I'm finna go get me some property. So he pulled me over. He said, you from Cali? Because he see my face on the CDs. He said, you from Cali? You know what I mean? And my rental car clean. I'm not selling drugs. I'm literally going to buy some property. He said, you from Cali? And he see my chain in the what? He's like, that's shrubbery on the ground? Shrubbery is green leafy debris. He said, that's shrubbery on the ground, huh? He take my money, and he said, the reason why I'm taking it is because the shrubbery on the ground, we field tested it, it came back positive for marijuana. And if you get arrested, you're supposed to put the shit on the dashboard. You get what I'm saying? I 90-day speedy trial. They got no toxicology reports, no field tests. He just wanted to take my money. You get what I'm saying? So now when he takes the money, he gives me I find out you don't have to commit a crime for them to take everything you have. It's called civil asset forfeiture. So they can take everything you have, and all they have to do is suspect that it's ill-gotten and it's legal. So he takes my money and he suspects, but he also gives me a case for the shrubbery on the ground. The shrubbery ends up being nothing but pollen on the street. There's nothing in the car. But the average person wouldn't have had the money to get the civil lawyer for the money, because it's civil asset forfeiture, it's a civil case. Most people wouldn't have the money to go get to fight for the civil, and by the time they would have got the money back from the civil, there wouldn't have been no money to fight the criminal case, so he would have just robbed me. But I've been working this time, I got the documents around the money, all my shit is legit. I go back and fight for mine. I got, you know what I mean? I got some money stacked up. I go get me a civil lawyer, and I go get me a criminal lawyer. Now, it took me 10 to get back my 20, but it was the principle. It was the principle. Nigga, you gonna rob me? I made it a point not to carry no drugs. I made it a point to do this legitly. I'm going to get a piece of property, you know what I mean, from what I done learned. That's in 2003. I ain't never been in jail but the justifiable. So I'm like, damn, I'm sitting in here again.
So it's 2003 or 2013?
I mean, 2013. And so from 2003 to 2013, if you know me in the stacking, I live my life by even numbers. So from 2003, when I got arrested that's a 10-year, that's a decade. You get what I'm saying? So when I get arrested in 2013 with this money, and I learned you don't have to do anything illegal for them to take your shit, and you gotta prove it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna keep this job, and I'm gonna stay doing what I've been doing. I'm gonna learn these economics, and I'm gonna learn this, and I'm gonna stay out of the game. This is that 2013. I walked away. I'm done. I'm going to work. You get what I'm saying? And so when I get this case, soon as I get this case, when I come home from beating the police, I do word on the street. that whole Back to the 90s album, I'm on bail. If you look at all the money in that video, them all 20s, like I'm on bail that whole Back to the 90s album. That word on the street was to the police when they gave me my money back. They had to give me all my money back in a check. So I cashed it, and that's the money they gave me back. The word on the street is to them, I'm too big for the backseat. That ain't to the niggas and niggas hating all these niggas. That was to the police. Because now I'm coming into consciousness. So 2013, that's when that came in 2000, that's still that's almost a decade ago. When I come back, when I beat that case in the civil case, Killa Tay is doing Back to the 90s for me. He's fond of me. You get what I'm saying? He's bringing me to his house. I'm meeting his family. My whole life, I've been growing up in these motels. Every one of my albums has been recorded in a motel. Every one of them. The only time I go to a big studio is to get when I pay for a feature to have them somewhere to go. All my shit has been recorded in motels. So Killa Tay, the godfather, the mob father of West Coast rap, he's fucking with me so much, he comes to the motel room to record Tunnel Vision 1 and 2. And this is right after I'm doing Back to the 90s. I just paid him my homage for doing Back to the 90s. He let me use his name and shit. You know, I cashed him out and then we working on Tunnel Vision 1 and 2. And he let me bring him into the trap, the Vallejo Inn. You know what I mean? And this is 2013. I just came back from learning that the police can rob you for nothing. So I'm staying at work. I'm gonna continue to go to work. And then I'll get back on the strategic stack in the work in a minute, but we still on 2013 and I'm just now getting a little popular with the music. So when I beat that case and I got Killa Tay in the trap, somebody tried to rob me in the trap. You get what I'm saying? Now, mind you, I record all my shit in motels, but I'm just getting off bail from this other case. You get what I'm saying? So now I got Killa Tay in the trap and we're recording. I go to the liquor store and it's Friday night. Anything you know about, if you know about the hood on Friday night, and when you go to the gas, especially in Vallejo, at the Vallejo Inn, there's a expensive gas station and there's a cheap gas station, right? There's an expensive gas station and there's a cheap gas station. And you know Friday night, everybody's at the cheap gas station. That's where the liquor, that's where you busting your knocks. The motels is across the street, everybody trapping. So I go to the liquor store and we just about done wrapping it up. You know what I mean? He about to go home. So I'm like, let me go over here real quick and, do what I got to do before he leave. And my dumb ass get out. I'm fully draped. You already know how what needs to be explained or had to be explained. I'm fully draped. I hopped out and it's like quiet before the storm. I hop out of this white caddy at the cheap gas station where all the niggas is at. And when I hop out, it's like quiet before the storm. The whole gas station stopped. And under the lights, this shit hit way harder. You know what I mean? This shit when you hop out, everybody, like I said, I didn't go to school with nobody. I don't got no friends. So nobody knows me to say, hey, that's my nigga, back up. Only rep place I got rep like that is in Fairfield. You get what I'm saying? So when I hop out it's 2013, we're working on Tunnel Vision 1, Tunnel Vision 2, just dropped back to the 90s. I just got out of that case. You get what I'm saying? And so I go back to the room, they follow me from the gas station or whatever, they could have been sitting at the room. But when I go back to the room, they rock up on me. I knock on the door, opens the door. You get what I'm saying? And the nigga rock up on me, give it here. So I give him everything I got. You know what I mean? I hit him 5-6 times. Do. I got Killa Tay in the room. I cannot let them kill me, and I can't be responsible for Killa Tay. Like, you know what I mean? I would never, like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't, like the fucking, I thought they would be tripping about Dre. Imagine me letting somebody kill Killa Tay. You know what I mean? And it's like, so they rock up on me, give it here. So I give him, and he got it, and he shoot through the door, and he hit the nigga opening the door for me. So, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna go into details, but I got to my gun, and I gave him everything he had coming. He dropped his gun in the street and take off running. The room is in my name. The studio equipment is mine. My caddy's in the front, you know, and it's a nigga shot in my room. I've been through the murder case. I know the protocols. This time, I don't run. This time, I don't run. Dude's gun is in the street. There's a line of fire going this way. When the police show up and, hey, I got a nigga shot in my room after they get my face out the concrete, you know, I got Killa Tay in the room with me. I cannot let him take responsibility for it. He ain't had, you know, nothing to do with it. So after they get my face out the gravel, I'm like, look, that's my gun, unloaded on the bed. Every bullet casing that I shot gonna have my fingerprints on it. It's my weapon. That's dude gun in the middle of the street. I ain't see nothing but a pistol and a hoodie. And I did what I had to do. The police took me home and dropped me off. They took my gun, but literally he called his sergeant in the front and he's like, is he cooperating? Yeah, well, you know what I mean? This gun, I told him, like I said, I didn't see nothing but a pistol and a hoodie. The nigga rocked up on me saying, give it to me. So I gave Mary everything I got. You get what I'm saying? And they dropped me off at my mom's house. But they took the weapon. But they let Killa Tay end up getting a ride from my mama, getting dropped off at home, and you know what I mean. But you know, God to say we both here today, and you know we got Tunnel Vision 1 out, Tunnel Vision 2 out. You know what I mean. He kept it solid, and we still put out the albums. But learning the police can take anything from me without me getting caught for doing anything, me being framed, because that when they took it from me, I had to write letters. I wrote letters to everybody in their jurisdiction. Like these people are railroading me. They robbing me. I've been having a job. I ain't did nothing. You know, I make a mass letter, you know what I mean? I make 11 letters. I send them to a county general, fucking district attorney. I'm sending them everywhere. Like, look, these police is robbing me. The internal affairs get involved. You get what I'm saying? And like, even if I was laundering money, nigga, they just laundered the money they had to give me all my money back in a check. You get what I'm saying? So that word on the street was to them. You get what I'm saying? That whole song was to them. And it's like, I'm getting consciousness now. And then when I come home, boom, right back to back, the Killa Tay shit happened, the shooting. And it's like, I end up right back in the cell. Now, mind you, I've never been in the cell. All I've been doing is kingpinning this whole time. But back to back, in 6 months, the case and the shooting, and it's like, you know what? I'm done with this shit. I'm done with the life. I'm done with the music. It's a hoax. How could they tell me you could civil asset forfeiture and you don't have to have a crime to take anything, but you got a million motherfuckers on the internet, everybody showing millions and millions, ain't nobody going to jail, ain't nobody taking that. It's like, nigga, I'm out this game so far, I'm good. Like, nigga, you can't tell me nothing, nigga. They just told me they don't even have to have, you don't gotta get arrested or get in trouble. All they gotta do is suspect. So you mean all you gangsters with $100 million on camera, they ain't suspected not one time this time? You get what I'm saying? It's like, and I see the flaws, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stay at work. And so I stay at work, and I'm reading these books. And these books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, all 3 series, some economic books, and they put me on, and in these books, it say the 401k, you don't get your 401k until you 59. You can't spend it, you can borrow it, but you gotta pay it back, and you get penalized twice for touching it before your retirement, and you gotta count it as income. So I gotta count it as income, I get penalized before touching it before 59, and I gotta count it as now income because I pulled it out before retirement. So that's 3 things, and I gotta pay it back. You get what I'm saying? And at this job, they trying to offer me the 401. So reading these books, I'm telling the woman, my wife, I'm like, I can match you, and we have the power to buy any business, anything. We don't gotta wait till we're 59. Who's making it to 59? We not gonna still be players at 59. We not gonna still wanna be running around at 59. We may wanna buy a used car lot now. We may wanna buy a laundromat now. And these books brought me to consciousness. If I stopped the program and like I said, my daddy already beat the savings into me. You know what I mean? I done wore 117 videos in a black shirt. You know what I mean? With $100,000 worth of jewelry on. So I know how to hold money. You know what I mean? I just went through a 17-year run in life. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm a stop the program and we gonna match each other and pay ourselves first, because they taking this money out of the check before we even see it. And they're counting it as retirement, so they not taxing it, and it's a way to hide your money, and it's a way to prepare for the future. But what are those restrictions worth me letting you hold my money until I'm 59? What if I go through something now? I need to borrow the money, I gotta pay it back, I gotta do all. So it's like, no. So we start matching each other, $250 per check. I live my life by even numbers. Remember, you get what I'm saying? I live my life by even numbers. So when I get out, when I do the bail, I get out on bail and I go through the whole back to the 90s case, the Killa Tay shooting came right behind it. I'm like, this is too much. This is too much. Now, the paranoia of the fame, because they're telling me they don't need a reason no more. I don't gotta get caught for nothing. All they gotta do is suspect. So the paranoia of the popularity is now jeopardizing everything that I grew up doing, because, you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm gonna go back a little bit, growing up, all that time during the streets before I was a rapper. Like I said, I didn't have no class of. My name was Cassidy. There was no Mac Reese. Like, so I gave up I went that whole run as Cassidy, the young kid with the 30-year-old broad. Nobody even knew who Reese. So I gave up that whole incognito kingpin life. When I seen that situation with Rick Rock and all that money, I'm like, okay, it's the money. I gave up that. I couldn't use Cassidy because it's a real rapper named Cassidy, so I had to use my real name. You get what I'm saying? But it's like, I gave up that whole incognito kingpin life and now brought in Mac Reese, and now I'm at the back to the 90s part, and there's fame, and I'm like, damn, they just told me they can take everything I have and all they gotta do is suspect. I got limelight now, so it's like, and then boom, right behind, I shoot somebody else and they drop me off at home. So that's the justifiable, the money laundering and the framing by the police, and then I shoot somebody as soon as I get, at home. It's like, now I'm thinking, in my mind, I'm like, the police is like, well, who the fuck is this nigga? You get what I'm saying? So, me trying to cover all my bases, I'm like, fuck it. This is the second nigga I done had to shoot. Luckily, I done got away. I'm finna go get me a CCW. You feel me? I was just a victim of a violent crime. I don't have no adult record. You get what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go get me a CCW. So when you do a CCW, you gotta disclose everything. I give the sheriff everything. I'm like, look, man, I changed my life around, doing this, I need to protect myself, my family, you know what I mean? And throughout that whole thing, all they was worried about was my rap name. So I already knew where that was going. So now I put myself in a predicament to where I have to leave the life. I done already told them who I was. So you see how that's the way God worked. Me getting in that situation, I would have never known that I didn't need to get in trouble for anything. I would have never known that I didn't need to, I always thought you got to get caught red-handed. You hide your dope here, you put your money here, you don't get caught with it, you get to live like Nino Brown. And that's not the case. I learned in that civil asset forfeiture case, all they got to do is suspect. So now the popularity, and I don't have no cases. I'm still don't have no adult record. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I gotta preserve this. You get what I'm saying? I gotta preserve this. So all those back-to-backs, I walk away and I'm reading these books. And when the books are telling me, it's like, why, you know what I mean? If you read the Rich Dad, Poor Dad, if you YouTube it, it's like, 401ks are for suckers and da-da-da-da-da. So I take that game and I'm like, look, if me and the wife match each other, even numbers, if you work, you get paid 4 times, you get paid twice a month. That's 4 checks. We match each other $250 each check. That's, you get what I'm saying? That's a band a month. That's 12 G's a year. Legit. You get what I'm saying? And if I could take the discipline I got from learning the game, we know how to hold it. We hold it ourselves. You don't gotta ask nobody when you're 59. You know what I mean? You don't gotta borrow it back. You don't gotta pay it back. You don't gotta get tax insurance. This is money that's already taxed. All you're doing is being responsible with the money you're earning. So I start doing that from 2013 until now. You know what I mean? And we match each other. You get what I'm saying? So that's a band a month, that's 12 G's a year. I've been doing that for about 8 years, legit. So there's no reason for me to dibble and dabble and go back 21 years and jump into life. I might as well focus on this and that, and the music, the music, God put that there to scare me. Because if I would have never got popular and caught that case, I would have never wanted to walk away. I would have just been walking around like, you got to catch me. You get what I'm saying? And so now I jump full-fledged into the music and working, and I haven't been hustling at all. So now what you see with 29 legends, 26 albums, and 117 videos, you've seen my transition. It's not like I'm funneling the money or spending it all on music. I just now got an avenue to tell my story in the music. So now we're gonna get into the music. So like I said, when I get into the music now, like if you look at all the albums, Keak Da Sneak, Killa Tay, they made it on, I used them verses 4-5 times. And when I'm learning the music, I'm learning how to record everybody else. And coming up, like I said, with my cousin, I meet this dude named Rydah. So when I meet Rydah with the music, like I got all these features that I've been doing for everybody else. Rydah's doing music, but he's doing it with Dooney from the Federation. You get what I'm saying? And it's like at this time, if you listen to the first 24/7, I'm like off beat. I'm like off beat. I don't know how to rap yet. I'm still trying to find my way to rap. So meeting him, he's like, we fuck around, and like I said, Goldie is my cousin. Cholo is his gang member, but Rydah's doing music, so I'm related to both these cats. So when I meet with Rydah, he has a pile full of features. I got a pile full of features, and we make this one CD called 24/7, and with all the features from J Diggs, Juice, like we put them all on there. And when I get serious about the music, it's like now it's like what else do I got but my story, but my life? You know what I mean? So I just start going in, and the reason why I start going in really was because of the first album, the Fall of Buggy and T. When my brother leaves to New York because they trying to get on me, Rich gets the studio stolen, and it's like now I'm rapping with a point to prove. I got a not a vendetta, but I got a point. I make my first video, the realest rapper in Fairfield, because there's nobody else. You can't duplicate that time. You'll never be able to go back outside and sell crack and crank at the same time in Fairfield. You'll never be able to go duplicate that story. So now it's like, now that I got an avenue to let you know who I am, I leave Cassidy in the streets and become Mac Reese. You get what I'm saying? And it's like I leave the whole incognito Kingpin thing alone, and now I want you to know my story. Now, you get what I'm saying? And so now me recording and learning how to record, Goldie, the first time I ever seen myself on camera was Goldie, San Quinn, and Drew D's. And if you look up that video, it's like 13 years old. I get 2 seconds in the video. Got the chain, got the watch, my signature, too, you know what I mean? But I'm not rapping. That's just, I got on D-boy attire, you know, I got on, that's the first time I see myself on camera. And it's like now Goldie is the pinnacle in the rap world at this time. So me learning how to rap, seeing that Pro Tools session, I see a dude at a car auction. His name was TJ from Berkeley. His name is TJ from Berkeley. I'm at a car auction when my mama trying to put something else in mama's name. You know what I mean? And I see him, and he like, you rapping? I'm like, nah, you know, man, but you know, what's happening? What you niggas? He see the jewelry, and he like, you rap? I'm like, nah, but nigga, what's happening? What you? So I instantly try to, you know, serve him and shit, but he like, nah, and then you know, you can rap. This is what Pro Tools is. And I'm like, Pro Tools is a computer? This is around 2005, and I'm like, Pro Tools is a computer? So that whole time, like I said, I'm recording THIZZ and Rich. I get to stand over this dude and I write down everything, and I get all the way to 2013 recording everybody else. You get what I'm saying? And now at 2013, when I'm now rapping and I'm now doing my thing, I know how to just take the laptop and make a song on the spot. So with Goldie having this fame and he's doing his thing, when we're coming around, when I see the LAROOs, hey man, you know, I got a stack right now, studio right here, camera dude right here, boom. Be legit, you know what I mean? Hey, cause you know what I mean? I got a stack right now, you know what I mean? Whoa. And I'm not saying they all charge me a stack, I'm just saying this in general, like, I got it right now, studio right here with Hannon, you know what I mean? And I'm building my catalog. Everybody that I see, these niggas, you know, I'm not talking about Goldie and them, I'm just talking about everybody in general, period. These niggas is rappers. I'm coming from the street, nigga. You want a band? Let's rap, nigga. You know what I mean? You've been rapping, here go to the studio, yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm knocking shit down. You know what I mean? And it's like, why I've been rapping with everybody else for years. I need to solidify myself in this era because it's about to be over. Richie Rich is, you know, OG, you know, LAROO just reinvented himself. Like everybody, this era is over. The Killa Tays and the Spikes, you know, it's about to be gone. The Jackas, and it's about to be gone. If I don't, you know what I mean, solidify myself, then who is Mac Reese? And these other people, everybody, they can't do it for me because it costs money to do it. It costs money to record the session, to shoot the video, to get the location, to record the songs, to get the party shit for the night. You got your weed, you got your yada, you know what I mean? You got to get all that shit costs. The beats, everything costs. You get what I'm saying? And it's like these niggas can't become rappers because they can't afford it. You know what I mean? And that's what it, and that's just, I'm not talking about my cousin can't afford it. I'm not talking about, you know, my peers can't afford it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the 1,000,001 motherfuckers you hear crying on the internet why I can't become a rapper is because it's literally, this is what they're doing for entertainment, nigga. I'm coming from the soil with it. I'm bringing you literally 13 years of survival with it, and now I got a story to tell because ain't nobody 13-year-old grew up with no 30-year-old broad. Ain't no nigga. They literally dropped me off in the motel like the Carter, and I took it over. You can't reduplicate that story. You can't reduplicate, even if you wanted to reduplicate my catalog, 29 legends, 26 albums, and 117 videos, you can't even reach half of them legends. As soon as you get to a third of them legends, you're gonna be broke. Because now it's a fad and they're gonna tax you. You know what I mean? I'm coming in off the game. You get what I'm saying? So you don't even have that timeline. And it ain't about being humble or it's just about now I got a story to tell. And you know what I mean? I'm gonna take this legit game that I learned from these books. I'm gonna walk away and I'm not gonna let these police or these investigators or nobody else take nothing from me. I'm gonna go too legit to quit, and I'm gonna give you this real. You get what I'm saying? And like from the very first video, I walked in it with 100,000 on. You know what I mean? And it's like, and that's been my mission since I've learned how to do my music. It's been to solidify myself with that era. So when it's gone, it'll be a million new rappers, but nobody from Fairfield, California can reduplicate this catalog or what I've done. My favorite feature is all of them. The reason why it's all of them, because they all literally had to say, okay, I'm gonna come out my comfort zone. I'm gonna go somewhere where this little nigga may rob me, or I'm gonna go somewhere and put my life on the line and get this. They all took a chance. Like, you know what I mean? Be Legit didn't know me from Adam's Apple. You get what I'm saying? Somebody called him and said, hey, little homie Legit, you know what I mean? And he took a chance. He didn't know, you can see in the video, you know what I mean? He's like, you know, but it's like every feature was special to me because it was all hustle. I got to solidify my hustle and everyone. So when I'm dead and gone and when and I'm no longer here, you know what I mean? There's no bigger hustler from Solano County, Fairfield, California, North Texas Street. There's no bigger hustler. I don't give a fuck who gets signed. You get it? And I'm not to speak on anybody else's name, but this is one story about Sage. This one story about Sage the Gemini. You know what I mean? My brother B, he cut hair from Armio. He like I said, I've been doing the Kingpin thing for so my brother like, hey man, rap with him. My brother's the first nigga ever gave me a goatee. I go see this nigga in the barbershops every time you watch In the Flats, that's in his barbershop. But he used to tell me, do a song with that young nigga. Do a song with that. And Sage knew who I was before I knew who he was. You get what I'm saying? He comes, hey man, I do me, and he, you know, gave me a couple beats. And to this day, he'll tell you right now, I'm not doing a song with that nigga until he paid me my $20 for this beat that he sold me. You know what I mean? Because I didn't know. I'm like, I'm hustling, you know what I mean? And my brother was, hey, do a song with this nigga. I'm telling you, do a song with this nigga. And I was like, man, everybody doing music. I'm like, okay, yeah, you know what I mean? So I do a song with the Sage or whatever. I don't know whatever happened to the song, but I do a song with Sage, and I'm not tripping on it. He give me a beat. To this day, I don't even know what beat it is. He says you owe me money for. He says $20 because back then he was just coming up. He just literally gave me the song, but he only wanted $20 for the beat. You get what I'm saying? And it's like I wasn't tripping. I was moving so fast. It was just somebody else young that knew I was up under, you know what I mean, the scene, and he's like, I want to rap. And to me, that's what it was. I didn't know who it was. And 6 months later, this nigga's on MTV. You get what I'm saying? And it was like, that's how much, like, no matter how you reduplicate it, no matter who you sign from Fairfield, no matter who the next coming up, there's nobody that can reduplicate. I'm the realest rapper in Fairfield, period. I don't give a fuck who signs who, how much money they get, where they come from. There's nobody in Fairfield that can reduplicate this catalog or this time. The only person that I give ups to that ain't with the Federation is Shill Mack. Is because, and the reason why I give ups to Shill Mack is because when I was hustling in the streets and I just got out of juvenile hall for murder, Shill was already rapping. He was already solidified. Like the dude who took me in and protected me was Shill's brother. You know what I mean? They street brothers. You know what I mean? So the dude who protected me, gave me his ID and all that, that was Shield brother. And I used to go to Shield. I used to make Shield burn his CDs for me to listen to while I was trapping. So if I'm gonna give credit to anybody being as far as the music, it's gotta be Shield. Cause he was the only motherfucker solidified, and I used to call him like, hey man, you burn the CDs. Like I used to make him burn his CDs so I can trap to him. You get what I'm saying? And when I got a Juvenile Hall, you can ask Anthrax Productions, and you can ask Bless, you know what I mean? When I got out of Juvenile Hall, I had a list full of papers. I couldn't even stay on beat, nigga. I did the whole 3 sheets of paper in one breath. They like, nah, you gotta take a break. It's a bridge, it's a chorus. I'm like, nah, nigga, we going, that's where the aggressiveness. And one thing I do wanna say about the rapping is all them 26 albums you ever heard, it's never been a punch-in. Never been a punch-in. If you talk to Don Bud, if you talk to where we're at After Hours in Fairfield, if you talk to anybody, I've been rapping in a motel room for so long that I can equalize my voice with the double myself. I've never, every song that you've ever heard, it's always been a double because I've only learned how to rap with reverb. Reverb meaning the echo in the room because I've only recorded in motel rooms. So every one of them songs where you hear that I'm riding that motherfucker and I'm going 100 miles per minute, they doubles, they 2 tracks. That's why you can hear the fumbles in them. That's why you can hear, you know what I mean? So that's one thing I did want to say about that. But as far as the music, like I said, I want to pass it off to Shield. He'll be the only one that I think that could compete with me as far as the music. You know what I mean? And him doing his thing and being a solidified artist. You know what I mean? But other than that, as far as the hustle, the catalog, the 29 legends, the 26 albums, the 117 videos, the story, the hustle, there's no realer rapper in Fairfield than me. And if you watch Mac Reese, if you YouTube Mac Reese Real Niggas, that's how I came out rapping. I got a whole verse on there where I was taking it from the gate, and that's a decade ago. You know what I mean? So there's nothing left to be said. It's like I said, I'm a stay legit. I'm gonna keep my fat ass at work. You know what I mean? I'm gonna stick to what I learned in these economic books. You know what I mean? I'm on my third purchase, my third house. You know what I mean? Since I learned the game. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna stay this route and I'm gonna do the music. And I wanna say this before I let him cut it off, that's why you see me in 117 videos with the same shirt, is because it's in the black shirt, because it's real game. I'm not gonna waste the money or waste anything. I'm gonna continue stacking. I'm gonna continue strategic stacking. And you know what I mean? Like I said, even I don't wanna speak on anybody else who gets signed, because like I say, I respect Stresmatic, I respect Choose Up Cheese, I respect Shield, I respect all of them. But if I could pull up videos and pictures, you know what I mean, where everybody's just starting and I'm the only nigga in the thing draped down in diamonds in 1999. You know what I mean? So I don't want to take nothing away from nobody's success. Shields, Sages, Choose, everybody, Stresmatics. I respect everybody from Fairfield and I respect their grind in the music. But as far as this realest nigga from Fairfield, the realest rapper in the 7s, you can't redo it. You can't reduplicate it. You know what I mean? It is what it is, and it all came from the soil. The same thing I tell everybody who calls me to spend $250 for a feature. You know what I mean? Is the music is a waste of time. Unless you learn how to do your own music, you learn how to make your own beats, you learn how to record your own music, that you can get 10 times as further, taking that $10,000 that you're getting nickeled and dimed to mix and master and all that. You could take that money, literally use one of these federal housing programs. You get what I'm saying? Get a house for $4,000, $5,000, sell it in 3 years for 50, 60,000, get the equity, and go on doing what everybody else is taking 30 years to do, flipping barbershops and flipping clothes brands and all that. I would say that the music is a waste of time. And if you got money to blow, you know what I mean? Why not use the 9 to 5 to pay for your 6 to 10? Because we got to pay rent anyway. We got to pay mortgage anyway. We got to live anyway. Why not get a job, work, let the job pay for all that, and whatever you making in the streets and in life and anywhere else, and you pay yourself first from the job. Whatever you get from the job, you take, just like they taking the taxes. You get an accountant, you pay yourself first. You feel me? So if you start out at 18, 17, 16 working, and you work until you're 36, but you didn't spend 16 years paying yourself an even number first, you'll be sitting on the $500,000 before retirement. You don't gotta, you get what I'm saying? It's like you might as well use your 9 to 5 to pay for your 6 to 10 because the risk aren't outweighing the benefit. The dope ain't real, the streets ain't real, and they giving you just as much time, so you're gonna spend everything you make, just how they, like E40 saying, you know what I mean? 4 years of balling ain't worth 10 years in jail. Even now, he's saying on every album, get a job. You know what I mean? It's just, is what it is. You just gotta be smart with the money. These is tools, you know what I mean? These is tools, not only in the street aspect, but just like the dude Derek Grace on the thing, you know, he's talking about, you know what I mean? These are precious metals. This is what money is before money was what? You get what I'm saying? And when you get them custom, they're one in a million, and they insure for more. So this adds to your estate. You know what I mean? So if I would say to any nigga that it's all a hoax, if I could, I would have stayed underground and I would have bought a whole lot of property a whole lot faster. You get what I'm saying? Out of state, somewhere where they're giving it for pocket change. In California, you're not gonna 30 years, you're not gonna own the house. You could take that same 20 grand with a legit background, with a legit 700 credit score, and go buy 2-3 acres for 10, 20 G's. And be legit. So it's just like, it's a hoax. Nobody's telling us about this. Like, nobody told me that the police was gonna rob me and say this and say, you don't gotta get caught. All I gotta do is think. All I gotta do is think. Nobody's telling, you know what I mean? So that'll be my advice. That if you got money to burn right now and you in the music and you can go spend $15,000, $20,000 on a chain, you know what I mean? You can go get a house, flip the equity, and be in the South in a mansion in 5 years, you know, just like how everybody else is getting up the game now and doing it, buying barbershops and moving. Like, why wait until you're 30 to learn it? Like, who gives? And that's one thing before I let people know about my music. With those 29 albums and those 26 albums and those legends, I don't pay for promotion. Once I give that legend his homage and he lets me use his name, I add it to my catalog. I'm not paying THIZZ. I'm not paying Bay Area companies. I'm not paying for no views. And so that's why when you go look at those Clyde Carson videos, you go look at those Richie Rich's video, it's only 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 views, because I'm not paying for that shit. I'm putting it up on YouTube, and if you follow me, you follow me. You get what I'm saying? If you watch it, you watch it, but you're not gonna come see fucking 1 million views in 6 months, because I'm not paying THIZZ, I'm not paying Bay Area companies, I'm not paying nobody for for none of that shit. You get what I'm saying? You're gonna see the same t-shirt, the same gold chain, and the same 2,000 real views from the people who follow me. So it just is what it is. But that'll be my advice, man. Stack your money and get into this real estate game. You know, same shit E40 been telling us for years.
Real. Let me clarify what I mean by this, you feel me, this, realest rapper in the 7 shit, nigga. You feel me? You niggas start competing for a title that you can't obtain in the first place, nigga. It's too late. First First off, let me say it ain't no beef, nigga. Never was no beef. All the beef is imaginary, nigga. Bug in the chamber. Some of that you might not know the kid, nigga. Cause I'm younger than y'all. And while y'all was in school, I was already with the shit, nigga. Straight up. Now, respect to all my Fairfield niggas. I grew up listening to all my Fairfield niggas. And I broke bread with all my Fairfield niggas. You feel me? But when it comes to this, that line, the niggas needing that issue, wasn't none of you niggas on that contact list, my nigga. And I'm listening. You niggas rapping about having money, nigga. Don't lie to me. So with that being said, y'all can have all the titles. Y'all could be the best rapper in Fairfield, the greatest rapper in Fairfield, the next to get signed out of Fairfield, whatever. But this realest rapper in the 7, this John Cena belt, nigga, this Brock Lesnar belt, this realest rapper in the 7, it's your kid, hands down. Feel me? Period. So, with that being said, you understand me? For the feds, nigga, we ain't out here committing no murders. We ain't out here committing no robberies. Niggas ain't selling no drugs. And niggas ain't gangbanging. Niggas ain't doing no stupid shit. Niggas got jobs, kids, and all that shit to uphold bills and all that grown-up shit. So, yeah, we done made it out. Salute the true ones. Feel me? Touch, nigga. 100,000 air shit to my niggas touching dip. It's the realest shit out the 7 since Mac Low dropped his corner street flows, bitch ass nigga. Bug Entertainment.
What's happening with it, man? It's Mac Reese. We will Vaughn Visuals. Hey, check this out. Google me, stream it, search it, YouTube it. Check me out with these artists: Beeda Weeda, Brotha Lynch, Spice One, J Diggs, Juice, Hitta Slim, LAROO-THH Hitta, San Quinn, Philthy Rich, Keak Da Sneak, the Jacka, Boss-Hogg, Stresmatic, Killa Tay, Be Legit, Rydah J. Clyde, the Hood Stars, Turf Talk, Clyde Carson, D-Lo, E40, HD, T Nutty, Lavish-D, Dubee, Matt-Blaque, Goldie-Gold, Richie Rich, Lil Rue, and JT from In Too Deep. 29 legends, 26 albums, 117 videos. Let me say that one more time. 29 legends, 26 albums, 117 videos. Stream me. Let me know what's happening. One love to Vaughn Visuals.